Hey, what's up? It's Max, and I would like to talk about one thing. So recently I saw a few videos on YouTube because it keeps feeding them to me, and the videos are about financial independence. Well, obviously I am into financial independence, that's why it's sending those videos my way. But those videos look intimidating, so I want to talk about them a bit and want to talk about myself a bit. So if you guys are watching this, you probably know what financial independence is, and you probably heard that it could be reached within a rental property, through the rental property. And what I mean by those intimidating videos, that there are tons of videos that start with a guy saying like, oh, I left my $3,000 job, $300,000 job, I left my six figures job, I left my job as an engineer and started my free, independent, financial independent life. And you think like, well, that sucks because I don't make that money, so you make much less. You might make as much as I do because I make $16 per hour. And you kind of think, well, this sounds really interesting, but I cannot get there because I'm not a money bag. I don't have all that money to begin. All the video will start with a dude with like expensive car in his garage, and he's like showing off that car, and he's like, oh, look at me, I'm rich, so listen to what I have to say. And you kind of think, uh-oh, now this Dave Ramsey, and yeah, I don't have anything against Dave Ramsey, but he probably knows what he's talking about. Look at his car, and look at me, I have just old 2010 Toyota Corolla or something, and you like, financial independence is just not my thing. It's intimidating. Look at these guys. There's no way I can get into it. Or the video starts with like, okay, it's easy to buy a first house, and you keep thinking like, I've been trying to do that for a year, 2 years, 3 years in a row, and I cannot buy it. So how easy is that? It's easy for them because they make that money. What about me? I make $16 per hour. How can I afford my rental property? How can I afford my mortgage? How can I afford anything when the numbers they run in their videos are just plain scary, you know? They say like, oh, let's buy this house for $300,000 with a mortgage with a down payment of $30,000. And you think like, where do I get $30,000 in the down payment? I don't have that money. My tax return is like maybe $3,000. So, okay, 10 years of tax returns might give me 30. So all these videos, even though they're entertaining, and yeah, I get them because, well, hint, hint, I do invest in real property, but those videos might scare people off and might make them think like, okay, unless I have a complex of condos, I'm not an investor. Well, you have a one rental property, there you go, you are an investor. So what I would like to talk about is the thing that those videos are, yes, they made on a YouTube, so they are made to make money. They're made with professional cameras, with the good angles, with few cameras watching at you at the same time, you know, so they have cameras, not cell phones. Or they rent a hotel room in order to film that video. They write a script, not talk off of the things that come into their head. Those videos are made to make money. They make money off the video. They make money off the ads on a video. You view them, you think about them like, oh, that's something Robert Kiyosaki said. And, well, Robert Kiyosaki makes money on selling books on how to let us know how to get rich while selling books about how get rich, you know. He's not making money from real estate. He's making money from his thing, from his story, from his book. So, what do you do if you like me? I am from Ukraine. I came here in January 2012. I came to USA. I landed in this promised land of eternal money and cash flows with $5,000 and young wife. So we started blank. My credit history was not 600, it was not 500, it was nothing. I didn't have a credit history. It was NA. So if I would go to the bank, they would be like, who are you? Goodbye. When I went to the bank to ask about a mortgage, because I was like, okay, it looks decent, looks nice. All these books were telling us about this. They just sent me off. So with the knowledge that I do have now, and the power that I do have now, to share that knowledge, that's exactly what I would like to do. So I don't want to make these videos like 15,000 hours long, so I'm going to break them. And this is going to be the introduction. So let's go from here. So 10 years ago, I came to the United States from the Ukraine. I think everybody knows where that is now that Ukraine is on the news. And yeah, the first job that I got was in a manufacturing. I was a grunt in a factory. I was making $10 per hour, or I think it was $10.50. I was working an evening shift, and I was making the ceiling panels for the airplanes, or the doors for the overhead cabinets. So that's how I started. And 10 years from now, I'm still working odd jobs. Right now, I work in the call center, and I make $16 per hour. So I didn't grow that much. I didn't make a career because I was not trying to go that way. I don't like to make careers. I like to have a free time. I have it. So I read about this financial independence, read blogs, read Mr. Money Mustache. I was in love with him. I wrote Pete a nice email. He answered. That was so cute. I was like, oh, I got him printed and put it on my wall. But yeah, I was like, how do I get in? How do I do stuff here? And now, 10 years later, I do have 6 houses. So one of them I do live in, and 5 of them are rented. One has a double lot, so technically that's 7 properties, but I mean, double lot, what good is it for? So I just still count it as one. And I pretty much have an option to live off the property rental income. I still go to work because of the reasons. And I still am able to grow if I want to. Because some people say, oh, unless you have 20 units, there's nothing that you can teach us. Well, I never even made $20 per hour. I think my highest wages back in 2017 were $19.50 per hour. So with that in mind, while making that money, so you can probably correlate yourself with my situation, how do you get there? What's the trick? What's the rules? How do you play the game? It's super easy, nothing scary. Again, I'm not gonna sell anything. I'm not gonna show you my fancy car. I'm walking from home right now. I don't even have a car. And yet, I have a cash flow of slightly over $3,000 coming from my rental properties every month. And how do you do that? How do you do that? Because I would like to keep these videos shorter so people will not skip through them and keep people interested, I would let you know in a next video. But the first step is to get a mortgage. And how do you get a mortgage? Well, you go to the bank, or the credit union. Well, what do you need to do prior to that? Well, you have to have at least 2 less years of your W-2s, so the paper that your employer gives you, and at least 2 good credit lines. So 2 smallest, cheapest secured credit cards for $300 each. And yeah, you're good to start. But we're gonna talk more about it in the next video. So please, if you liked it, hit a like. If you wanna hear more about it, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.